There are very few games where I have ranged all over in how I plan to rate a game. I try and reserve judgment from when I start a game, but let's face it, humans tend to make snap judgments. It's what we do. It's how our brains are wired to survive. Still, I am aware of this, and so when I'm playing a game like Noita, I try to listen to my early impressions of the game to balance out how I feel after I play it for a while. But Noita, let's just say it's complicated. This game makes the college relationship I had that went through 5 rounds of breakups seem rather stable. I've simultaneously loved and hated this game within the same run, within the course of a couple minutes. Noita is broken at times, and at times it gets just broken. Now I'll be shaking my head out of amazement, and then I'll just shake my head. So let's explore this amazing little indie roguelite platformer together. Noita was released out of early access on October 15th, 2020 and was developed by Nala Games. The first thing you'll notice is that it's pushed all of the chips into the table when it comes to the pixel art style. And I mean that for more than just the visual appeal. Yes, the game is clearly leaning into the high-res pixel art, much like Terraria, but the pixels aren't just there for visual appeal. As the description of the game says on Steam, quote, "Every pixel is physically simulated," unquote. And if that means nothing to you, well, let me explain. In a normal game, you will have typical things like weapons, enemies, barrels, crates, lanterns, doors, etc., which to some degree interact with other things in the game. But at some point, things in the environment or world of the game are just masks for the physical geometry of the game, or are just an image that has no impact on your character whatsoever. This is where Noita stands out. Literally everything you see in the game can interact with everything else in the game as well. Ground can be destroyed with the right spell or bomb placed on it, wooden walls burn away and fall and can land in a vat of oil that can explode, a barrel that's too close, and on and on and on. This chaos actually lends itself to a certain level of strategy, knowing that the procedurally generated world has the potential to keep changing even after your run starts. It's not uncommon to just hear things explode when you enter a level due to how things generated on top of each other, which, well, is maybe a bit too far in some circumstances. There are very few safeguards that the developers put into place to ensure that levels would be playable from the start. And while it's not really fair, I should say rather that due to the developers' desire to have the world so fully interactable, they had to let go of certain safeguards that would normally be in place, such as, well, being able to start a level safely. There we go. In my about 15 hours of gameplay, there was not an insignificant number of times that my entry into a level was chaotic and unstable. There was no place for me to get established in the level other than jumping into or through fire or slime or poison or something like that, or even right into an explosion. And unfortunately, one of my best runs ended at a later level even due to this. I wasn't really upset. Well, okay, I was kind of upset. But I honestly can see that if the developers had tried to fix that problem, so to speak, it would have limited other parts of the game where the nearly chaotic and unpredictable interactions make the game what it is. Okay, so before I get way too far into this review though, what is the game? Honestly, I have no idea. You're a wizard or mage of some sort, and you're just heading into a cave for some reason and trying to not die for some reason. I've unlocked 0% of the lore so far, if there is any to unlock, but actually that's okay. It harkens back to early roguelikes where you didn't need a reason to head into a dungeon and fight monsters. And as someone who notoriously hates it when games have too much dialogue, the fact that it just drops you right into the action is quite nice. And the tutorial? Well, what tutorial? There are signs with WASD and left mouse click and FI and 1 and 2 on your keyboard, but that's it. Figure literally everything else out along the way. And there's a lot to figure out. In short, your ability to survive depends on finding wands and spells that between levels you can rearrange the spells on wands to build super powerful spell combinations, or you just blow yourself up with a bad idea or a combination. Actually, I don't have a video of this, but right after I finished recording, I actually accidentally blew myself up. It's a very real thing. The wand thing takes a little bit of getting used to knowing what to look for. Fortunately, there are some nice tooltips on the spells now that weren't always there in early access. So now you can figure out what spells do and how you want to combine them into your wands, etc. If I can give you a quick tip, you want the shuffle to be no for the most part, and to have more than one spell cast at once. Then you can find spells that cast other spells, so that hopefully you can just chain all the spells on your wand together into a single cast. That's the ultimate goal, actually, as far as I can tell. And this is what keeps you coming back for the one more run thing that good roguelikes are notoriously famous for. You finish a run and think, okay, now I know one more thing to look for in a wand or in a spell or something like that, and I have a good idea of something else I want to try next time, or a specific combination or trait. It does keep you coming back. The wand you create can be as broken as many good roguelikes, think Binding of Isaac style combinations, and you are completely in control of forging that path yourself, depending upon the spells that you come across, that is, or the wands that you find or purchase. But it's yours to try out after you find them, infinitely rearrangeable, so to speak. Just a word of warning, be careful trying out an OP build when you're in the in-between area where you can swap your wand around. They don't like it when you accidentally destroy that area. Whoops. Well, that would have been a fun wand to use on a normal level. Oh well, total facepalm here, but anyways, consider yourself warned on that one. On the not so good side, I had all kinds of stability issues with the game. It was prone to crashing between runs for some reason. Not sure if it was my computer, but I don't really have problems with other games. And since every pixel is simulated, this game is a beast on your graphics card. Very few games cause problems with my computer, but this is one that would have the frame rate drop to a slideshow every now and then for a few frames. That's just what happens when you open the whole world up to be interacted with, I guess, but I do wonder if there aren't better ways of dealing with that. The levels themselves aren't honestly that big, but it was just, I think, too much to handle. It was an annoyance that would jar me out of the game every now and then. In the end, though, it really didn't necessarily hurt my opinion of the game, but it did make me feel like maybe it should have spent a little more time in QA or optimization before coming out of early access. I don't know. I really wouldn't expect these types of issues at this stage. And the music and the sound, well, honestly, they fit into the game. The soundtrack is very atmospheric and well done to fit the overall mood. Nothing I'm going to necessarily download and listen to separately when I'm not playing the game, but it does its job it was meant to do to fit into the game. So where does that leave us for the rating for this game? Now look, a lot of people absolutely love Noita, and you may be one of them. You may be here just to hear what I have to say so you can disagree with me if I say anything bad. Or maybe you might someday be one of them who's going to love this game. I wouldn't want to disparage you from trying it out either, because people really do love the game. And I can definitely say that I completely understand why people love this game. And they're not wrong for why they love the game. It's very unique, and the possibilities are seemingly endless. But as for my personal tastes, I have a hard time seeing myself spending a lot of time getting better at it. I am glad that I have it, but some of the shortcomings and the very uncontrollable world generation that kills you at times, I just can't rate it any higher than a worth considering right now. Now, you know what? I will throw an asterisk on that though. And we'll say it's a must play if you can pick it up during a Steam sale, which, hopefully they'll have coming up later this month. No guarantee, but usually happens. If Noita drops under, I'd say $10, it's a solid pickup that, hey, you might honestly love and wonder why I had any reservations about the game at all. It's kind of like Spelunky in that way sometimes for me. I get why people love the game, I just don't love it myself, and that's okay. One beautiful thing about video games is that we can all look at one another, seek to understand where someone's coming from, and even if we don't agree with them and what they're thinking about, and we think their ideas are short-sighted or misdirected, we can still respect them for who they are as a human being and a video gamer. Every person deserves that, I think. So, please prove me wrong on this one. Pick it up if you find a spare $20 in the couch cushions, and let me know how the game treats you. I'd love to hear it. So thanks for listening if you're still watching/listening at this point. I really hope you enjoyed this review. More to come soon. If there's any new or upcoming roguelike or roguelite release you want me to check out, please let me know in the comments. Also, come and join me in my roguelike Discord community, Rogue HQ. I'll put the link in the description. And take care until next time.